All right, great evening, everyone, and welcome back to another Mic Up Live series. And today we'll be talking about period, a girl's best friend. All right, so our sponsor this afternoon is Good Advice Scented Candles. Relax and motivate. I want to tell about relaxation. I really mean relaxation, because the scented candles them from Good Advice, them up, them turned, and they have a whole lot of fragrances. Let me tell you about them. They have Foreplay, Island Kiss, the crowd favorite, Day Spa, Caribbean Tweakwood, and I tell you, the list goes on and on. And yes, as I said, they are the sponsor for this afternoon's live, and of course, I don't know, say we have to have a giveaway. So please listen attentively. Make sure you follow Good Advice Scented Candles and follow us at We Touch One Heart Foundation on all our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Trust me, this evening session is promised to be amazing. All right, so joining us this afternoon is the resilient Ramona Riley. And when I talk about resilience, I not talk about nothing fubble-double. I not talk about nothing play, nothing dibby-dibby. Let me tell you a little bit about who Ramona is, so you guys can understand when I say I'm nothing fubble-double, right? So, some years ago, Ramona was diagnosed with endometriosis, right? And of course, doctors told her that the only way for her to mitigate her symptoms and her problems that she was having was through this is a big one now. You know what? Help me out. It's the word big enough, man, but it's kind of hard to pronounce, but I know how it go. It's a oh, there's something here go again. I promise somebody practice, somebody ready, you know. It's a hysterectomy. Basically removing some parts of your womb, right? And of course, Ramona said, look here, I am not going to have this. So she went through a series of holistic and natural treatment, which of course not only gave her the opportunity to have her third child, but it also gave birth to her company, Cosmic Womb Man. Now, she actively treats and educates women and girls in Jamaica and the diaspora on using natural and holistic methods to achieve healthier and a happier reproductive system. And trust me, if you don't want to hear, me want all of the information, because she has been through it. While I wait for Ramona to join in, let me just take this opportunity to say welcome to all the members from We Touch One Heart Foundation in Portland, all across the island and the diaspora. A special big up to our board chairman, and I see our CEO. Woo, woo. Welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining in. So for those who don't know, We Touch One Heart Foundation is... Alright, when I describe We Touch One Heart, I always get passionate, because it's all about volunteerism. And I'm not talking about some middle age or some older person volunteering. I'm talking about young people volunteering. It's a non-profit organization. And when young people stand up and come together, trust me, what we can achieve is limitless. Limitless. Alright, great. So let's give our guest this afternoon a wonderful welcome. You guys can share some applaud in the chat section, you know, she'll see it. So Ramona Riley, Mrs. Spence Riley, the Vagina Lady, aka the Vagina Lady, CEO of Cosmic Woman. Let's get into this. I tell you, I promise you, it is not. Alright, so the applause them there, keep them going. Hi, Ramona.
Hi, Goddess. How are you?
I am doing great. It is lovely to see you. How you doing? No, Ramona, I told them I know. I can hear you. I can hear you. Is my audio good on your end?
Good.
All right, great, perfect. So I have been telling these people from
Mm.
however long how deep we are going to be getting into this because trust me, we really need to talk about this, right? But you know what? Before I get into it, I know people want to hear a little bit from you before we really get into the topic this afternoon. So, would you like to share anything else? What has been going on? Anything new?
Anything new? Oh God, there's always things new every day. But I first just want to say thanks, first of all, for just being on this platform. It's always exciting for me to be able to talk more and more and more about women's wellness, productive system from a healthy and holistic standpoint. And of course, I don't think that's done enough. And so being able to have the opportunity again, because I've been here before, is great. And I really, really appreciate that. Um, this whole period and period month and period day is also something I'm pretty excited about as well. It's probably been about 5 years since we've had an actual period month and period day in Jamaica. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful for that as well. There needs to be more initiative, more awareness, more comfort in just saying period or having a period and talking about it, or if something's wrong with it, still being able to express yourself and seek the help that you need to fix the situation. So I'm just grateful for all of it.
All right. Awesome. Trust me, that is so great. I know a lot of persons have so many questions. Like me, for example, there are so many girls, so many women that have questions, and as you said, they are so afraid or maybe ashamed, or it isn't in our culture to really speak up about it, right? So we won't know what's normal, what's good, what's bad, what's healthy. So can you share with us the difference between a healthy and an unhealthy period?
Okay, well, I think this is really the best place to start, really, here, because a lot of times what we think is normal, we consider healthy. And that's something that we have to
Mm-hmm.
remove from our brain and like reprogram it in a way, because I could be having a period that lasts 7 days, and that could be happening from the first time at 12 years old when I had my, now I'm 39 and I'm still having a 7 day period. So, hey, it's pretty normal, it's pretty healthy. But the reality is it's not. It is probably consistent with what you've had all your life, or period life, or menstruation life, I should say. But in terms of reproductive system or a healthy, a 7 day period. When we put healthy and unhealthy and break it down when it comes to a period, I would say the main things that we want to focus on is the length of the period. Are there clots? The color of the period before the spotting before the period, the smell. Also, do you get yeast infections or bacterial vaginosis before or after? A lot of women suffer from that, and that's something to talk about. Also, symptoms is coming, you have headaches, you feel nauseous, bloated, you feel all these things. That also lets me know that your period is not. So period, a healthy period, right? When I consider healthy, is going to be something where it is a 3 day or less period. And that 3 day is going to include all of the spotting before, after, everything. So your heavy day, your light day, your spotting day, all of that needs to be included in 3 days or less. Okay, that's what a healthy period
Wow.
when it comes to the length of the period. Okay, get that? No, there are other
I get that.
aspects also. There are other aspects also that will put in or have when it comes to a healthy period. So now in terms of we have the length, which is 3 days or less, but then there is the clots. A woman shouldn't have clots at all during her period, at all. None at all. Right? So when you're having clots, may they be the small ones, the tiny one looking one, may it be the string, the clots, and it's like more stringy. May it be the big, fat, meaty, tough, big clots, right? Those also are a problem. So that also would let us know that that period is a unhealthy period, right? Versus a period that just, so for me, for my period lasts 1 day, sometimes, right? I've just started this whole 1 day thing the other day. So it's still new.
You need to share the secret on that.
I will definitely share the secret. I definitely will. So when it comes to a healthy period, because of the clots, because of the pain during the period, because you shouldn't have pain either, the bloat pain, the nausea, all of these things, right? Usually the first thing to eradicate this uncomfortable period or this annoying period or long period is usually the first thing kind of want. Okay, that is really what you want to do. You want to give your body a good start, right? We're detoxing the blood, you're detoxing your digestive system, your reproductive system, your circulatory system. Because when we have pains, a lot of times it's the circulatory system, there are blockages in our pelvis. And so as the blood is flowing, it's hard for it to flow the way it needs to flow. There's all this pressure and inflammation and all these things that make circulation harder. So when we focus on all of those systems and detox them and then strengthen them, a lot of times the reproductive issues that you could have had when it comes to your period usually is better. So you haven't even necessarily started the real treatment yet, but just in detoxing, it has eliminated a lot of the crap. Yeah.
Great.
So you want to start there.
Right. So on a matter of detoxing, I know about Cosmic Woman and a few of the products that you guys offer. Can you recommend or share what can we use as a starter to detox? What product can we use to start the detoxing?
Okay, so Cosmic Woman is an international business. We have 2 locations. So we have 1 location in Jamaica, we have 1 location in South Carolina. Okay, and so there are some products that we have that are just for the international, and then ones that are just for. If we're talking about detoxing, I really suggest you going on the detox cleanse that Cosmic Woman has. It cleans the body really well. You take it every night, 4 ounces or more, and it really helps to cleanse you. Another one, if you are in anywhere else other than Jamaica, we have a cleanse called the Supreme Cellular Cleanse. And that would be also done at night as well, but a smaller dose. I believe the dose is like 2 tablespoons is the dosage for that. But in terms of liquid tonics, those would be the 2 things that I Cosmic Woman. Now, there are teas that we have that heal the reproductive system, but also detox the digestive system. So that could be an option, which is the womb tea. The womb tea does that, and the hormonal tea does that. So there's like some detoxing in the digestive system and the reproductive, and so you're getting a little bit of everything in like a tea form. All right, so that's what I would recommend in terms of detoxing.
All right, great. Thank you so much. So earlier you had mentioned the healthy versus the unhealthy period and the color, but can you just differentiate what color the healthy period would have versus the unhealthy period?
Sure. Okay, so sometimes when we start our period, some women have a spot first. Let's say 2 spot, let's say 3 spot, and the period doesn't actually come down till maybe even the next day. Okay, some periods roll like that. Other periods, the period just comes down. Some, it spots for a week before the period comes down. At the end of the day, when your period shows itself, or, oh, I'm here, for example, you will realize that the period can be pink, light red, bright red, burgundy, purple, brown, black. Those are usually the main colors, okay? When your period is just beginning, maybe a spot or maybe a gush, here I am, your period, a healthy color is going to be pink, light red, and bright red. Okay, at the beginning of your period. So for those women that have brown at the beginning, because a lot of women do that. At first, they see some brown spots before they see red. Okay, the brown spots is not a healthy period. Period should be brown at the end of your period when it's going away, because the blood is old now, right? But when it starts at the beginning, this blood should just be coming from walls or your uterus, right? So the lining, right? So in the lining being removed now, it's color to get by the time it gets out your vagina, right? The darker, the older the blood is. Okay, at the beginning. Now, if we're talking about throughout the period, a bright red, little bright red is always going to be better. Okay, always going to be better. And light red is fine too, because there's some women that don't really get their periods don't become too dark, and that's fine too. But that brown, that black, some women's periods are black, right? Black like our eyelashes, like in my forehead, like black. And that definitely is not healthy either, right? So the lighter the color, the better it comes to the period, for sure, in terms of color.
Okay, great. So for someone, I know that some women they experience, of course, the symptoms of having a period is vast, right? And some women might experience a set while some don't. For a woman that would experience tenderness in the breast or even severe breast pain, is that normal? Should they feel it as an early sign of cancer, or is there something else that is going on?
That's hormonal. That's hormonal. So you'll find that women do get sensitive breasts or they swell a little or their nipples. That's hormonal. That's just like a thing letting us know too that, hey, the period's on its way. Or even when I'm ovulating, my nipples are much more sensitive. So if I'm taking a shower, it's, you know, the intensity of the water coming down sometimes nipples, because I'm ovulating, it's more sensitive. So it's natural, it's normal for that for your body to respond in that way, right? But if you're having pain in your breast, that's a whole nother aspect. That means that that particular hormone or those particular hormones are too high. And so that is why you're suffering versus just feeling a slight, you know, tingling or something. No, if that's something that a woman is experiencing, I do suggest that she do a castor oil treatment on her breasts. She'll realize that that really helps the situation. Remember, the breast is a part of the reproductive system too. Okay, leave her out. Recommend doing a castor oil treatment on the breast. And if anybody is interested in that, we can always send you the information. You can share that. It's really simple. You need a heating pad or a hot water bottle. You also need castor oil, but organic cold pressed castor oil. And you can get all this from that. It is hard for you to find it. And also a special muslin cloth. And in your breasts, and then you put the cloth over it, and then you put the heating pad over that, and you just lie down there for an hour, and it just pulls things out. It helps to balance hormones. I do castor oil treatments just for maintenance and my abdomen. And that is where I recommend majority of people to. I just said the breast because if they're having pain or some kind of thing, I also want you to focus on the breast as well. But in general, doing a castor oil treatment on your abdomen from your belly button down to the mound of your vagina really helps to detox the reproductive and digestive system and the immune system. I mean, right now, the immune system is supposed to be everything. Everybody's supposed to be interested in how I can have a healthier immune system and be a better version of myself from that point of view. And the castor oil treatment really helps with that too. So it's like a win-win-win.
All right, thank you so much for that, Ramona. I know that you had mentioned spotting before, that sometimes it's fine to spot before the period, but is spotting in between period or for a prolonged period of time okay?
Spotting should not happen between the period. The period shouldn't pause or stop for a bit more and then it pause and then it shouldn't go like that. Period should just be straight through process, easy process, just get it done. The pausing is definitely a hormonal issue as well.
Okay, thanks. For someone who has fibroids, hormonal issues, or even endometriosis, is it okay or is it safe for this person to take birth control in an effort to balance off those hormones? And if no, how do you think it would affect their cycle or their reproductive system afterwards?
Okay, so birth control is used a lot in the Western world to balance hormones, right? And my opinion personally is that it doesn't fix anything, right? Birth control creates this thing where it's like an auto in the body. And so your body doesn't naturally ovulate on its own. It doesn't naturally have a period on its own. It doesn't do anything on its own because it's by this birth control. Okay, and so the body is not able to do what it's meant to do. When it is that hormone in our body, I don't think the body really responds the way that it wants to, or in terms of healthy. If it did, then it would work, and then that was what people would do, and we wouldn't do anything else. But we're starting to realize 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and then by the time we've gotten to the 7th and the 8th month, before, which was so horribly in whatever way, is right back to that. I believe that if you should own birth control if you're trying to not get pregnant. And even then, I think there are many other options than necessarily birth control or putting a fake hormone in your body for your body to have to, what do I do with this? How does this work?
All right, great. Thanks. Question though. Having those extra hormones in, some persons would say, all right, then after I've taken all of this, how do I get it out?
Detoxing. Because remember, a lot of it is going to be stored in your liver, right? Because the liver filters out everything, right? And we don't really do a lot naturally in our liver. It's the reason why, if we have high testosterone, if we have high estrogen, if we have high progesterone, if we have high any of those hormones, what happens is the liver starts to hold it and store it, right? And so it's important for us to cleanse the liver and strengthen the liver. Really, really important. So if you suffer from endometriosis, or if you suffer from PCOS, or if you suffer from fibroids, all three of them have the same thing in common. It's all high estrogen, right? So your estrogen is high, so you have PCOS. Right? That's why you have fibroids and so on, right? So when it comes to the hormones, it's important for us to make sure that we're balancing out the hormones and we know what hormone is too high so that we do not then consume things, right, that already have this high estrogen. So if I have PCOS, I'm not supposed to be eating no chicken. You know what I mean? I'm not supposed to be eating dairy. I'm not supposed to be eating soy. I'm not supposed to be eating these things that are high in estrogen because my body already has too much. You know, my body's telling me I have too much because I have PCOS. So we just have to understand our condition or understand our bodies so that we can give our body what it needs. So food's huge in balancing hormones, helping to balance them, you know, and we overlook that a lot. Your food can be your medicine and should be your medicine. And a lot of times the things that we use on our skin has a lot of soy in them, especially the natural stuff. Okay, just like tofu, it has soy in it. Veggie chunks, it's soy. It's all soy. So you have to look at that. If you go and get a veggie burger and you look on the ingredients on the back, most likely it's gonna say soy, right? It might be gluten-free and all this other free, right? But it's not soy-free. And the soy has a lot of estrogen. So we have to just really learn about food again. That's really what we have to do to help the
Because I
hormonal.
was, in regards to some of the hormonal issues that we would experience as women on our period, acne breakouts is among the list. Besides paying attention to what we eat, what else can we do to reduce our breakouts during our period or before?
Okay, so I think prevention is always better than cure, you know? So we know that this is going to happen because it has happened so many times in the past. So you start to prepare your body. Now, again, let's not underestimate the food thing, because if you're breaking out and you have eczema or you have any of those things, that's a gut issue. That's a digestive system issue again. Okay, the majority of issues that we have are either digestive or mucus issues. And I mean that's across the board as human people. Usually the two culprits, right? So we have to make sure that we eliminate these two things, right, that become this issue. So I would usually say, if it is that you are suffering from acne or anything like that, your masks, the masks you use, the scrubs you use, look into that. Look into that, because everybody's acne is also different. So something might work for me, something might not work for you, right? And everybody doesn't have the money to go to the fancy place for them to do one bag on excitement and niceness on your face every month. Some people can't afford that. So just getting a proper mask that you know is good for this type of acne, may it be charcoal, may it have tea tree in it, may it have these different things. Understand what these ingredients are, so you know to get the best, and start using it on your face maybe 2 weeks before the period. You know what I mean? Sometimes we know that there's a certain space we get pimples. Like for me, it's right here, right here. This is the one thing I keep getting for the past, like, I would say 7 months. Like a pimple comes up and I'm like, oh yeah, my period is coming. That never used to happen before. You know what I mean? And I know that's a good thing. That's because of different things into my diet that I wasn't eating, right? And so now that happens. So if these are things that happens on a regular basis, start putting it in the same places that it would usually pop up if that's the case, or just do a whole full face of a mask and a scrub. Make sure you change your pillowcase every day or every other day. These things make a difference because of your hair and, you know, all of that. How you sleep. Do you sleep with your hands in your face? Those things make a difference as well. Maybe you need to dehydrate dry up some of the acne stuff in there. So you might want to do something more like a, what do you call it? Bentonite clay type of situation. So there are many things out there that you can do, but the gut is where it's at. That is why we have the acne. It's the gut. It's our digestive system.
Would you say that stress affects the flow of our period in any way?
Definitely, definitely, definitely. Stress affects our hormones. You can get so stressed out you don't even see a period, right? I mean, many things. I mean, we can go on a plane, and then our period is thrown off for 2 weeks because we flew in a plane, you know, across the world or something like that, because the altitude and everything changes that up as well. So there are many things that can change the period, and that definitely is one of them for sure. Stress 100% can. Stress can kill you. Don't take it lightly. It can really kill you. So you have to find different ways to de-stress. And meditation, I think, is a great, great way to do so. And when I say meditation, I don't mean just lying down and like trying to like think about nothing. I hate when you know people think that that's what it is, because actually that's not what it is. Meditation is really great for, yes, clearing the mind, but I would recommend a guided meditation where you don't have to do anything. You know what I mean? You can just You can just put on the track, close your eyes, lie in your bed, lie on the floor, and just listen to the voice as the voice tells you what to do. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your nose. Imagine you're at a beach. Do you see the water? It's glistening and it's under this beautiful sun, and walk towards the beach. I like that type of thing, right? And you get into it and you imagine it and you feel good, and it releases a lot of stuff, even from a trauma standpoint, because a lot of things reproductively, just like our periods, can be affected because of trauma, right? Maybe past trauma, or maybe even the relationship that we might be in, and that's emotional, mental, physical. So using meditation to be able to heal your reproductive system. I use meditation and sound therapy to heal my periods and heal my reproductive system. I use that to heal my son's speech, because he wasn't talking up until he was 3, like he couldn't even say his name. And so when we talk about meditation and sound therapy, these are real things. And if you guys want any other information about this, if you want some tracks, I would definitely send some tracks over. I'm doing a little, what should I call it, an audio book, or attempting to do a meditation audiobook. So it won't necessarily be all of them be my voices, because I'm still doing it. But I can send you guys some over from YouTube that I will personally listen to. It really helps. It changes the whole dynamics of it. I even make my children listen to some of them, because they have some for like kids too. And that really helps the stress level, because the stress is real.
And I was definitely going to ask you if you had any to share with us, or if you even host any lives that persons could join in on and just meditate as a group.
Yeah.
But that's great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing all of that. I am very curious, as a woman that was also diagnosed with PCOS, what can you share for persons to identify, or even, well, identify the early signs of PCOS or PCOD?
Okay, so PCOS comes in different forms, right?
Mhm.
And that is what we have to understand too. Sometimes you can see the PCOS on an ultrasound because it's the actual cyst that is on the ovary, and PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome. Okay, so sometimes you can see the cysts on the ovary. Some have 5, some have 30, okay, on each ovary. Okay, you have another type of PCOS that you just see it in the blood work. Okay, so you're not seeing any evidence. You do an ultrasound, you don't see anything, everything looks perfectly fine. But when you do the blood work, you realize that the estrogen level is extremely high. In doing that as well, you sometimes realize that the testosterone is high. So for some women that suffer from PCOS, they also grow hair in manly places. Their lip, their under their chin, their nipples, their manly places, right? So you'll find that women that suffer from PCOS, they have irregular periods. Their periods don't come every month. For some, not all, right? They miss periods. Sometimes they miss 1 month, they might miss 6 months, but they're missing them. For others, once they bleed, and the bleeding can't stop. It's just going and going and going. And so they have to take something and go to the doctor, go back on birth control to cease the period, right? So you have those PCOS, you're not ovulating. Okay, so I have a lot of clients that are trying to get pregnant. It's not happening. It is because they're not ovulating. Okay, their ovaries are not the way it should, so that they can release the egg. So I suggest really focusing on.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. To be honest, I have been experiencing some technical difficulties all afternoon with both Digicel and Flow. But thank you guys so much for returning. We are on the topic period, a girl's best friend. And with me this afternoon, this evening, is Ramona Riley, aka the Vagina Lady, CEO of Cosmic Woman. Let me just take this time to give a shout out to our sponsor for this afternoon's session. to our sponsor this afternoon session, Good Advice Scented Candles. And I told you guys that we have a giveaway, right? And I hope that you all were listening. Good Advice Scented Candle hooking us up with some amazing gifts. And of course, you can go and check them out. Check them out on Instagram at Good Advice Scented Candle. Also ensure that you follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram. Did I just say Instagram? Oh my gosh. Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at We Touch One Heart Foundation. Guys, spread the word. And it doesn't matter where you are located in Jamaica, in the diaspora, if you're foreign, if you're Canada, even if you're down above Bay. You guys can be a part of the foundation as well. Just send us a message on Instagram, or yeah, you can direct message us on Instagram, on Facebook, or you can WhatsApp us. Let me give you the number. I'll pin it here for persons to save. You can WhatsApp us at 379-5692, and of course we will sign you up. We welcome you guys to join the foundation. All right, so here's the question for the giveaway. Question nice and easy, cool like a cucumber. Yeah, name 3 fragrances that Good Advice Scented Candle has. Any 3 fragrances. I mentioned them before, and if you don't remember, you can run go over them page and peep. Yeah, run go over them page and peep.
What 3 fragrances you can share with us? And remember, for you to be a winner of this spot prize, you have to be following Good Advice Scented Candle. Thank you so much for returning, Ramona. Sorry, is the audio great on your end, Ramona?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Just wanted to confirm that you can hear me as well. Sorry, can you hear me, Ramona? Any at all? Can you hear me?
Didn't hear that?
I was asking if you're able to hear me. The audio is good?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. So my connection went just as you were sharing some of the symptoms of PCOS and how we're able to identify it. I'm not sure if the other viewers were able to hear or see if the connection was good with them, but could you just pick up from there and then we can move
Yeah,
on?
sure. Yeah, man. So with PCOS, as I was saying, it comes in different forms and fashions and shapes. And so it really takes investigation to know if this is the situation that you have. Now, when it comes to PCOS, it is an estrogen-driven condition. So it is because your estrogen levels are extremely high why you would suffer from PCOS. One of the main reasons. With PCOS also, there is a form that has high testosterone levels as well. So the estrogen level is high, the testosterone level is high, and that is shown up in like a blood test, for example, which would be important to do if you realize that there's some hormonal issues that's happening. Apart from that, you do have the PCOS also, where you can do a ultrasound, a pelvic or a transvaginal pelvic ultrasound. And from there, they can see the ovaries and the cyst that would be on the ovaries. At the end of the day, because it is a high estrogen condition, eating foods with estrogen, the dairy, the soy, the eggs, the chicken, the beef, the pork, the liver, the kidney, all of it. Those would be things that you would want to stay away from, right? If we're talking about building back the ovaries, then things like high doses of vitamin C would be very good for ovaries. There would definitely things like CoQ10, very good supplement for your ovaries. That would be a good option as well. I think that even like myoisotal would be good as well. And that is a great product for allowing the ovaries was meant to do. So it's a great product. And I recommend like 2,200 milligrams of myoicital. But that's really great as well for PCOS and helping the ovaries still do what it's meant to do.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Ramona, for joining us this evening, for sharing from your wealth of knowledge. I'm sure persons were here taking notes. I saw a few persons say, okay, hey, I'm taking notes. I am learning something new. And I just want to take this opportunity to encourage women. If you are experiencing any of the symptoms that you heard earlier that would fall in the category of an unhealthy period, please speak up about it because, of course, many available to help women because of course she has been educating, she has been providing these products for women to actually for women to find healthier ways of eliminating these symptoms and these problems that we have been having, right? So please speak up about it, don't keep it a secret. It is not something for you to be ashamed about. It is your body and your body is perfect and beautiful and you need to do your best to take care of it, right? So
And you
thank
need
you
to
guys
listen
so
to
much.
it. Definitely listen to
Yes,
it.
yes, because your body speaks, of course. All right,
Thank
awesome,
you.
awesome. Thank you for taking the time out to be here with us. All right, so
Have a
guys,
great rest of the
we have a
night.
giveaway. All right, we will. Thanks, Ramona. Remember, guys, we have a giveaway. We have two $500 phone card. Of course, did you sell Lime any phone you have? Remember, how you get this is you have to answer the trivia question, right? Three fragrances that Good Advice scented candles offer. And it is pretty easy. Remember the page, did it? At Good Advice scented candles. So remember to DM us the answer, but you have to be following Good Advice scented candles. Thank you guys so much for being here for the live. We Touch One Heart Foundation appreciates you. And we will see you in the next Mic Up Live series. Until then, stay good, walk good, adios.